So you have actually now built a web app with Cursor, Cloud Code, Lovable, Bolt, or whatever the tool that you have used to wipe code it. And now you are thinking to create a mobile version of it. So most of the people would think this in this way, like you need to start everything from scratch again, like creating a new project, creating a new database. Like most of the people feel that they just need to start from scratch. So that's not the case actually. So in this video, we'll be taking a website that is already live and up running. This is the website that we'll be taking, the one that I published, which is called Feedback Doc. We'll be taking this particular website and then we'll be going ahead and creating a mobile version of it. So we'll be completely building a native mobile app. So if that sounds interesting, let's get started with the video. So few things that I just want to clarify before getting into the video is that if you have a website and then you want to create a mobile app for it, you could follow this video. You'll have the understanding of how you could create it and what is the structure, what is the flow that you have to follow and all. And let's say you are someone who is starting directly with the mobile app. In that scenario as well, you'll have the understanding of how to get started with the mobile app, what are all the flow that you have to follow and complete things like that. So let's get started with it. So this is a website that I currently have, which is called Feedback Doc. So what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a mobile version of it. So here, I'll just give you an example. So let's say, let me just go to Expo. So this is something that we'll be using to create the mobile apps. Let me just, I have logged in. Let me just, okay, I'll just try to go to the documentation directly. So this is the thing that we'll be using. So let's say in creating the mobile apps, so either you have to, like, most two popular platforms that we have is Android and iOS, right? So if you have to create for both the platforms, like Android and iOS, both the operating systems, you usually, if you want to just go with Android, you will go with Java or Kotlin. If you want to go with what is iOS app, you have to go with Swift. But there are few frameworks or the things that we call, which we could use to create application, like the mobile application. And at the build time, whenever you are building the application, you could specify whether you want to build it for Android or you want to build it for iOS. At that particular time, it's going to classify the things for Android and for iOS. But you'll be building one part, like you'll be doing all the things in a single code base. Like you'll have a single project and you'll be creating everything in a single project. So for that, I mean, we have Flutter, we have React Native and all, right? If you're not sure about what are those, you like, I mean, when you're creating the mobile app, you need those. I mean, that those are the frameworks that you could actually use to create the things. So in our scenario, we'll be using React Native. So for that, React Native, you could again go with React Native. What you said, kind of a raw template or something like that. But we have this thing called Expo. So with this, what you could, let's say I give you an example where Expo would come into the picture. So let's say if you want to implement something called as, like, maybe if you want to take a picture in your application from the mobile. For that, you need to implement the camera module, right? For that, you could just, like, there are some few predefined or pre-built things on the side of Expo that you could directly use in your application, like camera modules, location, biometrics, push notifications, few of the things. Like, these are just few of the examples. But what you say, like, I mean, when you just start building it with Expo, it would be easy for you to, when you are pushing the app to Play Store or App Store. So you could just do that very simple. So that's the whole point of using Expo. Like, I mean, I also started what you say, with mobile development with the Expo directly. So using React Native. So let's just I mean, enough for the theory. Let's get started into the real implementation stuff. So we first have to create the project, right? Further, just copy the command, and I want you to open up the terminal. Let me just do that. Okay, now I have opened the terminal. I'll just paste out this particular command and I'll just click on enter. So here you have to give the name for your application. As we are building it for feedback now, I'll be giving it feedback doc mobile. I mean, anything, you could just give out a name for your project. That's it. Now it's going to create the project for us, like you do, like you create in the case of web application, you create the Next.js project or React White project and all, right? In the same way, we'll be now creating a mobile, what is a project that we could actually go ahead and start working on. All right. So as you can see, we now have the project is like now we have the project ready. So what we have to do is we either have to go to the IDE. You could just do it from here if you are using Cloud Code or something like that. But I'll be using anti-gravity, and in anti-gravity I'll be using Cloud Code. So I'll just open up the folder. Okay. So now we are in the anti-gravity, and now I have opened up this particular thing. So, I mean, with the Expo, you'll be getting few of the things like pre-configured when you're creating the project. For that, like, I mean, you could just try to reset the thing. For that, you could just try to copy out this particular thing and open out the terminal. I'll just open up new terminal here and just try to paste the command. So just try to type Y, and it's going to now delete all the unnecessary things that we need when starting out the thing. So it's now going to be fresh. So now I'll just open up Claude Code and I'll close up this agent. So the first thing that we have to do here is we have to what do you say, try to understand or come up with the structure for the thing, right? So as I've told you, I'm actually using Supabase for this particular what is it, for this particular project. I'm using Supabase both for the backend and also for the database. So I'll just go to Supabase, and as I am using Supabase, let's say if you are using any of the other backend or database thing, you could just go with it like Convex or whatever it is. As I'm using Supabase, I'll just try to give you the examples with the Supabase thing. So I'll just try to do one thing. So I'll just go to Supabase MCP docs. So we have to connect first the database with the MCP, right? So I'll just choose the project, and I'll click on read only. I mean, this is something that I personally follow. What you could do is you could turn off read only. That's completely your wish. The reason that I believe here is like, I mean, if you are not sure what's happening on the back end, like with Claude and what is the migrations that are going on, it would be better if you try to switch on read only, because we already have a production website that's running up. If you try to enable read and write permissions here, it's going like, I mean, let's say if it has to make any sort of change, it's directly going to go ahead and make the change. It doesn't, like, it's not going to have the context of the website every time, right? So in that scenario, it would break the production website sometimes. So that's the reason I just only put it to read only. If I have to make any changes specifically for the mobile thing to work, I'll directly go to the website project and I'll try to make the changes there. That's something that I'm following. But you could that's completely your wish. You could just go ahead and turn it off so that you'll have read and write both. I'll go to Cloud Code and I'll copy out this command and I go back here. So first, when you are trying to set it up, you have to be here. So just try to go ahead and type out /mcp. Now it's going to show up all the MCP servers that are there. As of now, these are few of the things that I've configured previously. This is a global configuration that I've done. But as we don't have any, just try to paste it out here. Now this is going to add the MCP server for us. So just try to click on enter. And as you can see, we now have a mcp.json file where this is going to have the complete MCP servers that we'll be using in this particular project. So that is a point here. Now, once that is added, you have to go to /mcp. Okay, so we now don't have it. Let me just try to restart the plot code, plot again, and just choose use this like the first option that should work. And now type in /mcp, you'll see the Supabase. Just click on enter and just click on authenticate. It's now going to open up the thing on the web browser. You just have to give the access authentication successful. That's it. Go back to the IDE. You see authentication is successful, right? So that's it. Now I can just turn this off here. Few times it would automatically get updated here with the extension. As you can see, it's not updated. Like, I'm using the Cloud Code extension. You could directly use it from terminal as well. That's completely fine. But if you don't have this thing here, you could just directly close out the thing and open up the project again, like the IDE, and go to the project. Now you should be able to see the /mcp. As you can see, again, it's asking for the authentication. Let's just do that. So I'll just click on open. Okay. I mean, it's not going. Sometimes it's not working from the extension directly. So I think it might be better if we do it directly from the terminal. I mean, we have done the authentication, so I'm not sure why it's asking again. Okay, it's again asking us for the authentication. Let's do that. Okay, authentication successful. As you can see, it's now connected. It should now probably wait here. All right. So as you can see, we now have the Supabase connected. So now we have the Supabase thing connected with read-only access. Now let me just try to close this up. And I'll now try to open the website thing. So this is the mobile project, right? Okay, so this is the website project. So I now have the website project as well. Let me just try to open up Claude again and the terminal. Okay. So here, we now have to first get the context of the project from here, and then we have to give it to our mobile thing, right? So what you could try to directly, you could just try. There isn't any complex prompts or something like that. Just try to follow the process. Just try to ask it to give some context so that you could build a mobile application with the same database. So just don't try to go ahead with all the features at once. So maybe just try to first understand the structure that you have to implement, and then go by one feature. So I'll just start with the overall structure that we have for the thing. And one more thing that I just wanted to mention here is I have started working on a feature called webhooks on the website part. So I'll just try to ignore that as of now because that's not completely implemented. So if I try to include that, that's completely going to be a what you said, that particular thing is itself a very big thing, like implementation. So I'll just try to ignore the webhooks part. So that's something that I'm giving you here. So I'm trying to create a mobile app using React Native with Expo. I want you to go ahead and I'm using the same database and same backend as the website. So I want you to go ahead and first give me the structure so that I could create a mobile application structure so that I could go ahead and go with one by one feature and then implement the things. So I want you to first go ahead and give me the structure of the website. I only need few things in the mobile application. So first thing is I want to switch between the projects, and I want to view the feedback, and I want to view the form submissions. And these are the few things that I, as of now, wanted to go with. Sign up with or sign in with Google should be working perfectly. So, as we are using the same database, we could use those details. And if there are any things to be added regarding the redirecting part in the URLs, I'll do that. So, just try to go ahead and give me the detailed prompt that I could use to build a mobile application structure first. This you don't have to complicate a lot. Again, I'm not sure if this is a very good prompt or not, but I think this would do the job for us. So that's the reason. And once we have the things here, maybe let me just check for the model. If it's Opus, I think it's going to take a lot of time. Okay, it's on it. That's fine. So now once I get it from here, I'll just take the prompt and put it in the mobile project. So I could iterate between from the website to mobile and from mobile to website. That's how I just do the things from website and mobile. If you're just solely building the mobile app, I think the flow of creating the project is same, but what you could do is when you are trying to connect with the MCP, so you could just remove the read only access thing and enable, you could just turn off the read only so that it acts as read and write both, so that you could directly use it from there and build the application from there. That's something. And yeah, let's get started with it. Let's just see what it's going to come up with, and let's look for the things. I'll see you once the first prompt, once it gives the first prompt, I'll get back to you. Yeah. And a quick thing when this is building up. So here you see these three things, right? Edge functions.md, Next.js.md, and rls.md. If you are using Supabase, so the most common security things would be in these three scenarios. So, Next.js is obviously out of Supabase, the edge functions and RLS. These are the two important things that you have to check for the security things. So I have created few detailed prompts for that, and these are the ones that I use for my thing as well. If you want the, I mean, I have shared these prompts in a Instagram reel. I'll leave the link of that particular reel in the description so that you could check it out. From there I have actually given the links to all these prompts and all, so you could check it from there. So that would help you. Yeah. Okay, I guess this is also kind of generating the first thing. Maybe let's see what it is generating. You're building a React Native. Expo SDK 52. So we are currently on 55, I guess, Expo. And one more thing regarding the Expo thing, I'll just tell you. Okay, maybe if I tell you now, you might get confused. I'll just tell you once we get to that particular scenario. So yeah, we now have. I mean, it also gave us the Google Auth setup, which we have already done from the side of the Supabase. I think it's done generating, I guess. Okay. Yeah, let's first try to copy out the entire prompt here. Okay, I'm copying the complete prompt till here. I'll copy this out and I'll directly paste it out here. So if I go back to the feed this thing, as you can see, this is something that we have to do on the side of Supabase. We have something called URL configuration in Supabase in authentication. So what we have to do is we have to, like, when the redirection happens after the successful sign in, we need to make sure that what are all the URLs that it needs to redirect it to. So for the mobile, we need to add this out. So that's the thing. I mean, we could do it later, but that's something that we have to do it for the Google sign up to work. Let's just go back and see. I just close this out. It's okay. Setting up the things. I'll get back to you once this particular thing completes, so that we could proceed with the next things. Okay, as we have thought of that, we might have to. I mean, I thought of mentioning it as SDK 55 or 54, but I forgot it. But it actually understood that we, I mean, the present project that we have created is in SDK 54, so it automatically identified it and it's going ahead with the 54. That should work. I mean, the latest one is 55, but let me just tell you the reason behind going with 54. So the usual approach when you want to test out an application is going to be in a way when you are just testing it out. So let's say if you want to test out the Android application, you need to have the Android emulator running up. And if you want to test out the iOS application, you need to have the Xcode installed and simulator installed and everything like that. But with Expo, what you could do is you could just install Expo Go app in Play Store or the App Store. In both the places, you have it available, and from there you'll have a QR code that it's going to show. I'll just show you how to do that as well. So with that, once you try to what do you say, run the command, you'll get a QR code. You just have to scan the QR code in your mobile, like a real physical device, and it's going to open up in the application. So for that to work, you need to be on the same network, so it's going to work perfectly, and you don't need to run any sort of emulators or something like that. If your laptop doesn't support running an emulator, this is the best approach that you could follow. Now with the reason that I told you that if we go with SDK 54, that would be fine, because the apps that are there on Play Store and the App Store, like the Expo Go application, those are only going to support until SDK 54. They did not like, I think they did not push out the update, or maybe they did not, I'm not sure what's the reason, but till now it's been 6 months or so that they released SDK 55, but they did not push any sort of updates or something like that. So the last update, as I'll just try to show you. Okay, as you can see, the last update that they gave is around 6 months back. I mean, I'm now on a test flight version. That's a complete different thing. I mean, I have registered as a beta and I have downloaded it via test flight. But if you want to do it or download it normally without getting into beta, the version that they only support from app is 54. As you can see, version 54 or SDK 54. So that's the reason that I suggested you to go with SDK 54. If you just go with the latest command, it's automatically going to install the SDK 54 directly. So you don't have to worry about it. So it's now going with the things. Yeah, that's the thing that I just wanted to show you. You could directly install it from App Store or Play Store. The application is called Expo Go. So this is the application. So you can directly go ahead and install it. The developer name would be name tag. So that's the thing. Once this is downloaded, uh, like you could just preview your application directly on your mobile. So you don't have to run any sort of emulators. Okay, as you can see now we have the first iteration here. So for this to run, you just have to type out npx expo start. This is going to now give you a QR code that you could actually scan in your mobile. Let me just do that. So I have actually opened up in my mobile. So as you can see, we have few errors here. So let me just, okay, so those errors, you'll have it in the log as well here. You could directly copy these out, and I just copy these and I'll send it to Claude. So here, let's say if you are using the Android mobile, you'll see it as an Android bundle. If you are using iOS, you'll see it as an iOS. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, let's say if you want to test it on a different version, that you might have to install an emulator in that scenario. So yeah, let's just wait for this thing to get fixed, and then we'll reload the application. Okay, so it now fixed few of the errors that it has. I'll just copy this. It's telling us to run this command with by clearing the cache. So I'll just run this and I'll plus enter. I mean, you don't have to keep on what do you say scanning the QR code. It's going to be on the same what do you say this particular URL or whatever you call it. So you won't have to. Okay, let me just try to reload it now. So as you can see, you just have to click on R, or maybe if you're on mobile, you have to open the developer thing and you have to click on reload. That should work. As you can see, the JavaScript bundle is being built. For the first time, it's going to take some time. Okay, again, we have few errors here. So let me just close this up here and I go back here to find out the errors. So let me copy these again. Okay, I think we might have to set up the Supabase, right? I think we have forgot that. Let me just do that really quick. So I'll have to add the keys. Let me just do that. Okay, so now I have added those two things in the env. Now I'll just try to reload the application again here. So let me just try to reload it. As you can see, whenever I try to reload, it's going to bundle it again. And as you can see, we now have the kind of the thing loaded up the application. I mean, don't check with the UI and all. We just started it. So I'll just click on continue and it's going to open up. Okay, as you can see, this is my exact same account that I use for Google signing. Like you see feedback doc here, which is the verified thing. So I'll just use the email and I'll try to log in and I'll see if I can get into the application app. So it's now taking me to the website directly. So the reason for this is because we have to add the uh like the URL configuration, right? So for that, I'll just go back to this thing. Let me just copy this out and I'll go back to here config. So now I'll go back to Supabase and let me open the Supabase and I'll go to the authentication. I'll go to the URL configuration here and I'll just have to click on plus and I'll have to add this callback URL and save the URLs. Now let me go back here and okay, once we have added it, we just have to restart it. I think reloading it would do the job, but again, let's just restart it with the clearing of the cache. And let me open it up and refresh this. As you can see now, it's building up again, like the bundle is being loaded. I mean, whenever you try to make few changes, it's going to take some time to load up. And let me close this and I'll click on continue again, continue, and I'll choose my Gmail account. Okay, so I we are still what do you say going back to the website. So let me just try to give the same thing. I have added the feedback doc thing in the URL configuration in redirect URLs in Supabase. But even though it's still taking me to the website after signing up with Google, if I click on signing up with Google and then after choosing my Gmail, it's taking me back to the website again. It's not bringing me back to the application. So that's the exact scenario we have, right? I'll just give it out. and let's see what it's going to come up with. And one more thing that I just wanted to show you here. So let's say if you want to test the same thing on Android or iOS emulators, or I mean in iOS you call it as simulator, in Android you call it as emulator. So here, after you run npx expo start, you see these things right here. If you want to open up the Android emulator, but make sure you need to install the emulators before you run this command. So once that's done, you just have to click on A, it's going to open up the Android. If you click on I, it's going to open up the iOS simulator. So that's the part if you want to test it on the real things like the emulator or the simulator. Okay, so it says that we need to what do you say, run it on Android or the iOS emulators in order for it to like in order for the signing up with Google thing to work. It's not going to work with the Expo Go app. But what you could do is, I mean, we I already have an alternate thing to log into the application. That is something that I could do. So I can now just try to create a free account in Feedback Doc. I'll just do that. I'll go to Feedback Doc. I log out here. So I'll just click on sign up, enter the password. I'll just create a demo account so that I could log in with Google. In the meantime, we'll just tell it to. So I want you to go ahead and add the option of logging in with the email and the password. We have the thing already implemented in the side of the Supabase. So the same things should be properly implemented here. And the user should be taken in once after the proper validation of the given credentials. So in the meantime, so it's going to build up. And one more thing, if you wonder what exactly is this that I'm using, it's called Whisper Flow. I mean, I'll leave the link to it in the description, so you could just check it out. Let's just go here, and I have to verify my email. Let me just do that. Go back to my mail. I just have to confirm this here. Okay, I'm now logged in. So I now have the password and all. I'll just create a test project. Let's create project. And once we have this thing done, we could just test it out directly from the Expo Go so that we could log in with our email and the password. So I think it added directly the authentication, I guess, maybe. Okay, we have the project created. Let me go here. I'll just close the terminal just a second. Yep. Okay. I'll just open it up. Okay, we now have this. I'll just refresh it for a second and I'll enter the email. Okay, I have entered the email and the password. As you can see, we are now logged in. So, I mean, the UI is completely messed up. I'm like not gonna care about the UI, but I'm just going to see the things. As you can see, we now have the test project that is there. So let me just try to take the screenshot of it. The UI is completely messed up. There isn't any proper layout that's there in the mobile UI. So I want you to go ahead and add a few of the basic things like the submissions, form submissions, or any of the things. So I'll give you a website UI as the example. So it would be better if you try to give the website UI. So it's going to go ahead and have some context here. So I'll give this thing. Let me copy the top header as well. And I'll just do one more thing, which is feedback. Yeah. So yeah, now I think it should be able to come up with a basic thing. So I'll just delete these now. Okay, we'll try to create a test form or something like that, and just create the form. I think we haven't given it the what do you say, the details of the form, but let's see. Yes. I'll just give the local URL, or maybe I'll just give the feedback doc URL. Let me just copy this and I'll go back here. So I have given it one URL. I'll just remove the sign up and I'll click on create form. So I'll do one thing. Now we have the test form created, right? If I go back, I should have the test form here. Now I'll try to take the screenshot of this and I'll just tell it to implement the form thing there so that we should be getting in the exact form in the like I mean the form details in the mobile app. So in that way, we could just have at least one thing implemented and just get back once this is completed. Okay, so it actually made a few changes with the with this screenshots that we have given. I mean, I haven't given the form screenshot yet. So let's just see the thing. Just enter password here. Okay. I mean, kind of. I mean, like if you check with the previous UI and check with the present one, it's a lot better, right? Now we have this. Okay, this is good. Okay, the toggle and okay, I think this is not going to work obviously. Okay, now we have these details here in the settings. Maybe I'll just give the form screenshot. So this is the forms page, and I want you to go ahead and check with the Supabase MCP and identify what exactly are the things that we need to have in the form and try to fetch the forms that we have created for this project. I mean, I wantedly asked it to go ahead and check with the Supabase MCP so that till now we did not use it. So that's the reason I just wanted to go ahead and use it. I can go ahead and give out the complete structure that we have from the website here, but I just don't want to. I mean, it is complicated, but it might hallucinate a bit. But this is going to, let's just see, it's going to work a bit because this is the advantage if you give read only. It doesn't have any option to write the changes in our database or the backend. So that's advantage of using read only thing. So let's just see if it can come up with the form details that we have now. Okay, so it actually now told that it found the details from the MCP and it implemented it. Let's try to check with the thing and just refresh it. And now it's going to bundle up. Okay, it's asking us to log in. Okay, I am now logged in. Okay, let me go to forms. Okay, we got the form here. So yeah, I think it is now able to fetch the things properly from there. So the thing is working fine. Okay, so that is the thing here. I mean, I'm planning it in a way where if I just need some of your suggestions. So what I wanted to do is I'm actually building application. I mean, this application that I started out now is just to show the demo of how to set up the flow and how to do the things properly. But I am actually currently building an application called Relio. We already have a waitlist for it. I have actually created a waitlist for this here using the feedback doc as a platform to collect the waitlist. This is like a expense tracker app that I'm building, like most easiest way to track expenses. So this is something that I really wanted to use it myself, so I am just building it. This is now kind of, I would say, maybe 80% of the application or maybe 90% of the application is ready. And I do have the Play Store thing verified. So I'm now implementing the paywall part of it. So I just wanted to, if you are interested in to getting in the things or the implementations that I'm doing in Relio regarding the payment gate. Here there won't be the payment. I might not say it's a payment gateway, but anyhow we have to implement it with. I'm implementing it with Revenue Cat. So if you think that's the present stage that I'm in for the application, you could join the waitlist from here. So you could be the first one to test it out when I just push it out to the beta or something like that. And if you want me to share the details of whatever the things that I'm doing on the side of Relio, I'd be happy to share out of the details that I'm doing and the flows that I'll be like the things that I'll be doing from now as well. I'll try to be consistent in posting these things out. So if you are interested, I just need your feedback in this, or if you just maybe want few of the other tutorials, I'll go ahead with it as well. And just need your feedback on this. If you want me to share the details of or the flows that I'm following in the Relio, I'd be happy to do that. I'll create the videos on it. So I think this is it for the video. The whole point of the video is to show you how you could connect the platforms and start building it. And yeah, if you want me to share the details, I'll share the uploading processes of into the Play Store and the App Store. I'm now first currently focusing on the Play Store. Once that is done, I'll go into the App Store. So that's what I'm planning now. So if you want these things to be shared here on the channel, let me know in the comments. I need your feedback. I'll just go ahead. If you are interested, a lot of people are interested, I'll post the things here directly. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you got some context of it out of the video, like how to set up the flow for the mobile app and all these things. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to help you out. And that's it for the video. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you leave your feedback so that I'll have the understanding of if you're interested regarding these flows or not. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.